Do you believe that Shannon Sharp was correct in essentially saying that Steph Curry is responsible for KD's legacy at this moment in time?
So I didn't think about it until Shannon kind of brought up all the points to it. I didn't think about it until you actually kind of listened to where Shannon was going with the entire segment. And of course, everybody knew KD was a guy that was talented, that could score the basketball, that was gifted at his height, was gifted athletically. His skill set for his size was something we've never seen before in NBA history, and nobody really wanted to feed into or even think of the fact that KD's career wasn't exactly meaningful until he left OKC and won those championships for Golden State. So if you break it down, KD spent, I want to say, what was it, 7 years with OKC, 7 or 8 seasons. I believe he was drafted in 2007. He left in 2016. No,
9 years.
2017.
It
Nine
was
years,
not. It
excuse
was
me.
not. Yeah, 9 years.
He wins an MVP in OKC. He wins a couple of scoring titles, multiple All-Star games, all these different things, right? He's just one of the more prolific players up and coming in the NBA, but didn't really have a lot of postseason success. Made it to an NBA Finals with OKC when all of them were super young, but they lose to the Miami Heat 4-1. Obviously, we all know about the series in 2016, right before KD had left. They were up 3-1. They end up losing that series 4-3. He goes to Golden State. They go to 3 straight finals. Obviously, at that point, he gets 2 out of 3 because obviously KD and Clay get hurt. Toronto wins that series. He then leaves to Brooklyn. He wants to do his own thing. He wants to create his own legacy. He feels that he's done enough in Golden State. Despite whatever people have said, despite what the rumors are, he couldn't handle Draymond Green. He couldn't handle being in Steph's shadow. He wanted to branch off and shake the narrative that he can win on his own. It hasn't happened. Now he's requested a trade to leave his team. This would be his now fourth team in the last. Nope, never mind. I can't even do math. This would be his fourth team in his career, but he's only won while with the Warriors. He couldn't do it with Russell and James Harden. He couldn't do it with Kyrie and James Harden. Now he wants to seek out and go somewhere else. And of course, the two designated teams that he wanted to go originally, Phoenix and Miami, the two number one seeds in the Eastern and Western conferences, respectfully. Steph Curry 100% made it easier for KD. I mean, you have to double one of them. And in a lot of sequences, you did, in fact, see that Steph was doubled coming off of screens and kind of picked up at half court. So KD had a lot of isolation basketball to work with, not to mention that that system was, it just worked perfectly for him. I mean, the offense was moving. The KD got better defensively, so that unit was able to just pretty much just be unstoppable for the most part with KD playing the five when you included Draymond in that rotation. And it just, that team is arguably one of the greatest teams ever assembled in NBA history. The Golden State Warriors 100% made Kevin Durant's career meaningful because if you take out those two championships and those two finals MVPs, he's only got one MVP in his career. Sure, you got the All-Star appearances. We got plenty of players that have done that. Sure, he's got scoring titles, but plenty of players have done that. He's got no hardware, and he's changed teams several times. And, in most cases, a lot of them don't look very good. Obviously, it looked like he stabbed OKC in the back when he decided to go to Golden State. He leaves Golden State when no one thought he would because coming off of the Achilles, we thought he would have stood. We thought that they would have, ran it back and, just accumulated more championships. Goes to Brooklyn, gets everything he wants. The second things go downhill, he requests a trade. Kevin Durant's legacy has already been tainted with this most recent trade request, but Stephen Curry 100% made Kevin's career that much more meaningful just by him choosing to go to Golden State.
I mean, as far as the championship element goes when it comes to KD's legacy, that was definitely impacted by Steph. There's no doubt about it. But to me, when I look at KD's career in totality, when it comes to his legacy specifically, to me, there's a fork in the road. It's really a crossroads. It was that last year in OKC, and he decided to go to Golden State. To me personally, that has more of a significance to me than what Shannon Sharp was saying about Steph's impact to KD's legacy. I'm not saying that, the impact that Steph had for KD wasn't significant. I'm not saying that. But if I had to say, between that and his decision to leave Oklahoma City to go to Golden State, to me, that is far more significant because it really changed the entire dynamic of how, not just how I see Kevin Durant, but how essentially all of NBA fans across the world see Kevin Durant. Because a lot of people would look back to that time when KD was running it with OKC, and they appreciated the fact that they really thought, I would say that NBA fans by and large really thought that KD would really run it with OKC for possibly his entire career. They had a really good thing going there. They had the Warriors on the ropes down. They were up 3-1 against Golden State, and then Golden State, has that insane comeback in the Western Conference Finals. And a lot of people would look back at the decision to leave Oklahoma to go to Golden State as one of the weakest moves in NBA history. I know Stephen A. Smith, still gets a lot of heat from that comment that he made back in the day. To me, that actually carries more significance because once KD got to Golden State, it was without a doubt that Golden State was going to win a title or two. Because when you have basically a Hall of Fame lineup of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Andre Iguodala, I don't think there's any team, no matter who you assemble in modern day NBA, that it's going to be able to compete with that. Nobody, as far as I'm concerned. And to me, the amount of front running that Golden State could do was just unparalleled compared to what we'd seen probably since, you could probably say, the Miami trio of, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James. But I think, when KD went to Golden State, it just took that to a whole new level because nobody was going to stop them. The only thing that ended up stopping them was injuries. With Klay Thompson tearing his ACL, KD ended up tearing his Achilles. The only thing that really slowed them down in the end was injuries and then probably the internal beef that took place between Draymond and KD that had kind of been boiling for I'd say that last season specifically that KD was there. It really got to, I think, a critical point in their relationship. And I think that was a huge factor that led to KD leaving Golden State in the first place. But overall, I understand where Shannon Sharp was coming from. I definitely take his point with saying that Steph definitely impacted KD's legacy for the better. There's no doubt about that in my mind. But overall, when I look at KD's legacy, to me, like the biggest impact for me was him leaving Oklahoma City to go to Golden State to join the team that had just beat them in the prior playoff run that they had. That to me holds far more significant weight than the point that Shannon was bringing up about Steph's impact to KD's legacy. It's not insignificant, but to me, it's not as critical of a point to make than him leaving Oklahoma to go to Golden State. That to me still holds the biggest point in KD's legacy to me because that one just rubbed me the wrong way. And I think it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way when he made the decision, but it worked out for KD's benefit in the favor. So, it worked out for KD's benefit in the long run, I should say. But overall, that's just how I see it.